Good morning, my dear students. In our last class, we have discussed about most of the agricultural practices that from the starting, that is preparation of soil, after that sowing of seeds, manure, fertilizers, irrigation, protection of crop from the weeds that we have discussed, harvesting also, threshing, winnowing. These topics we have covered in our previous class. So today we are starting with the storage. As you know, the proper storage is required for the better crop production, for the better crop protection. The harvested crop grains have more moisture content. So before storing them, what is the initial step? The initial step is to dry them in the sun. It is the first and the required step. You all know that the moisture content spoils the crop or any other food items. So what is the first step to be followed? First step to be followed is to dry the crop in the sun. We can done manually if the crop production is not more, but for a bigger crop production on a large scale crop production, what we require mechanical dryers. Then after drying in the sun or in mechanical dryers, we have to store them in containers. What we have to do? We have to store our crop in the containers. On a small scale, farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. Small scale पे हम किस में store करेंगे? In jute bags or in metallic bins. While on the other hand, commercial large scale food grains are stored in gunny bags in granaries or in silos. These are the type of silos that we can use for storage of our crop. Fine. This what are silos? The silos are big and tall cylindrical structures. They store different stock of food items at different levels. And there is also a reserve stock of food also. What is it called? It is called buffer stock. What it is called? It is called buffer stock. I think all of you are familiar with the agricultural practices, what we have to do for a better crop production. So here now I am showing you a video for a proper understanding. Clear? So we are starting from the beginning, that what are the basic crop agricultural practices that we have to follow. First, it is preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, and now preparation of soil. How the soil is prepared. The process of loosening the soil is very important and there are many benefits. It improves the earthworms and microbes in a soil. That is very beneficial for our soil. You can see the farmer plowing the field. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or plowing. Before plowing, need waters. Soil needs watering. The plowed field may have big piece of crumbs which have to be broken with a plank. The field is leveled for sowing as well as for irrigation process. Big pieces of crumbs are broken with a plank. Now, agricultural implements, before sowing the seeds, it is necessary to break the crumbs, and by what they are done? They are done by agricultural tools that may be plow, hoe and cultivators. Plow, this is being used since ancient time for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crop, removing the weeds and scraping of soil. This implement was earlier made of wood and has now been replaced by iron. It is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals such as horses, camels, etc. This is a hoe. Hoe, it is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron. A strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends and works like a blade. Animals pull it. Then the next is cultivator. A tractor driven cultivator does nowadays plowing. The use of cultivator saves labor and time. Clear? Now sowing of seeds. Sowing is the most important part of crop production. Before sowing, good quality seeds are selected. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give a high yield. This is the activity. In this activity, you can separate good seeds from the damaged ones. Now, in this activity, put a handful of gram seeds and stir well and wait for some time. You will see some of the seeds start floating on the water. Damaged seeds become hollow and float. Good seeds settle down. This is a good method for separating good, healthy seeds from the damaged ones. Now, before sowing, let us study about the tool used for sowing seeds. What are they? First are traditional tools. The tool used traditionally for sowing seed is shaped like a funnel. The seeds are filled into the funnel and they pass down through 2 or 3 pipes having sharp ends. These ends pierce into the soil and place seeds there. Nowadays, the seed drill is used for sowing with the help of tractors. This tool sows the seed uniformly at proper distance and depth. It ensures that the soil covers seed after sowing. This prevents damage caused by birds. Sowing by using a seed drill saves time and labor. Now, an appropriate distance between the seeds is important to avoid overcrowding of plants. This allows plants to get sufficient sunlight, nutrients and water from soil. Now, what is the next step? The next step is to add manure and fertilizers. The substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plants are called manure and fertilizers. Manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant or animal waste, and fertilizers are chemical substance. Fine. Now, these are the examples of fertilizers, that are urea, ammonium sulfate, potash and superphosphate. The difference between fertilizers and manure. Fertilizers are chemicals, whereas manure are organic substance. Manure is obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung, human waste, and fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure can be prepared in fields. A fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil, whereas manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. Now, what are the advantages of manure? An organic manure is considered better than a fertilizer. Why? Why it is? Because it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases become easy. It increases the number of friendly microbes. It improves the texture of the soil. And now it is irrigation. A living being needs water to live. Water is important for the proper growth and development of flowers, fruits, seeds of plants. Fine. The plant's root absorb water. Along with water, mineral and fertilizers are also absorbed. Plants contain 90% of water. Water is essential because germination of seed does not take place under dry conditions. Nutrients dissolve in water get transported to each part of the plant. To maintain the moisture of the soil, for healthy crop growth, fields have to be watered regularly. The supply of water to crop at a different intervals is called irrigation. The time and the frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. And these are the methods that we can use for irrigation. The sources of irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams, and canals. The water available in well, lakes, and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking to the fields. This is the Dekli system. They are cheaper but less efficient. The traditional methods, the various traditional ways are moat, pulley system, chain pump, Dekli, and rahat or lever system. In traditional methods, cattle or human labor is used. Now, pump is correctly used for lifting water. Diesel, biogas, electricity, and solar energy are used to run these pumps. Then, modern methods of irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically. The main methods used are as follows. First is sprinkler system. This system is more useful on an uneven land whereas sufficient water is not available. Perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on top are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of a pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. A sprinkler is attached like this. Then the drip system. In this system, the water falls drop by drop just at the position of the root, so it is called a drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruits, plants, gardens, and trees. The system provides water to plants drop by drop. Water is not wasted at all. It is a boon in regions where availability of water is poor. Now, the next step is protection from weeds. If we see carefully the wheat field, we see that there are some other plants and along with the main crop. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Tilling before sowing of crops help in uprooting and killing of weeds. The best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. This is done with the help of a khurpi. A seed drill is used to uproot weeds. Use certain chemicals called weedicides also help to control weeds. These are sprayed in the field to kill weeds. They do not damage the crops. Spraying of weedicides may affect the health of the farmers. So they should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during spraying of these chemicals. Then harvesting. The cutting of a crop after it is mature is called harvesting. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. It usually takes 3 or 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Harvesting is either done manually by a sickle or a machine called harvester. After harvesting, the green seeds need to be separated from the chaff. This process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of a machine called combine, which are in fact a combination of harvester and a thresher. On a small holding of land, do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. Now, harvest festivals. After 3 or 4 months of hard work, there comes the day of the harvest. The sight of golden fields of standing crops laden with grain fills the heads of the farmers with joy and a sense of well being. Their efforts have been fruit, and it is time for them to relax and enjoy a life. The period of harvest is thus of great joy and happiness in all parts of India. Men and women celebrate it with great enthusiasm. Pongal, Baisakhi, Holi, Diwali are special festivals associated with harvest season. Storage of grains, food grains is an important task. If the crop grains are to be taken for a longer time, they should be kept safe from moisture, insect, rat and microorganism. The fresh crop has more moisture. If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by organisms, losing their germination capacity. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by insect, pest, bacteria and fungi. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. However, large-scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. Dried neem leaves are used for storing food grains at home. Now, what you have learned? You have learned that it is necessary to prepare soil by tilling and leveling. Plows and levelers are used for this purpose. Sowing of seeds at appropriate depth and distance gives good yield. Good variety of seeds is sown after selection of healthy seed. Seed drills do sowing. Soil needs replenishment and enrichment through the use of organic manure and fertilizer. Use of chemical fertilizers has increased tremendously with the introduction of new crop varieties. Supply of water to crops at appropriate intervals is called irrigation. Weeding involves removal of unwanted and uncultivated plants called weeds. Harvesting is the cutting of the mature crop manually or by machines. Separation of the grains is necessary to protect them from pests and microorganisms. Food is also obtained from animals for which animals are reared. This is called animal husband. Now, I think there is no doubt regarding the agricultural practices that we have to be followed in a field for a better crop production. Now, what are the steps to be taken to increase the crop yield? As you know that the population of our country is increasing very rapidly, and to fulfill the food requirements of such a large population, we need to increase the production of food grains. Fine. So, what is the main step? The main steps are to increase the crop production to meet the requirements of a large population. How it can be done? Plant breeding. How? By plant breeding we can increase our crop yield. What is plant breeding? Plant breeding is a technique through which scientists control the reproduction of plants to get the desired offspring. तो प्लांट ब्रीडिंग से हम क्या कर सकते हैं, जो भी हमारे बेटर टाइप ऑफ क्रॉप्स है उसको ग्रो कर सकते हैं. Now, hybridization. What is hybridization? Hybridization is a technique used for developing new varieties of crops by crossbreeding two different varieties. What we are doing in it? We are crossbreeding two varieties. That's in this way we can develop a new variety. हम एक new variety को develop कर सकते हैं by using crossbreeding. For hybridization, one plant is selected as male and the other one as female. The anthers of the female plant are removed at the bud stage to prevent self-pollination. This process is called emasculation. What it is called? It is called emasculation. Then the pollens of male plant are dusted on the stigma of the emasculated flower. Once the process of pollination is done, the male and female gametes fuse and produce hybrid seeds which contain the characteristics of both the male and female plants. Fine. For example, to get a variety having higher yield and disease resistance, select two plants, one having a higher yield and the other having disease resistance. This is called stock of new variety. Fine. So by plant breeding and by hybridization, we can improve our crop production. Then the next step is green revolution. There has been tremendous increase in the production of wheat crop in India during the last 30 years. What it is called? It is called green revolution. It has made our country self-sufficient in food grain production and has improved the economic condition of farmers also. Green revolution is brought about by importing high-yielding varieties of wheat from Mexico. New varieties of wheat with the desirable characteristics were developed by cross-breeding methods. Besides giving a high yield, the plants were smaller and stronger and a better response to fertilizers. Similarly, high-yielding varieties of rice, maize, bajra, sugarcane, etc. were also developed by this method. Fine. Now, the last topic is food from animals. The science which deals with the breeding, feeding and caring of domestic animals is called animal husbandry. What it is called? It is called animal husbandry. We obtain milk from cow, buffalo, goat and camel, and then it is used to prepare butter, cheese, curd and ghee. So, to domesticate the animals for our benefits, animals are reared and it is called animal husbandry. Rearing and breeding of poultry like hen, duck and turkey for eggs and meats is called poultry farming. What it is called? It is called poultry farming. The production of fish on a large scale by farming fish in fish nurseries or hatcheries is known as pisciculture. The rearing of fish is called pisciculture. Fine. Now the chapter is finished and I think you all have learnt it very well. This is the concept map that we have studied. It includes what are the types of crops. They are Kharif and Rabi crops. Then agricultural practices. We have studied it about the preparation of soil, selection and sowing of seeds, replenishment of nutrients, irrigation, crop protection, harvesting and storage. Fine. In preparation of soil, plowing and leveling is done. After that, how the seeds are sowed into the soil, replenishment of nutrients by natural methods and manuring or fertilizers. Irrigation, there are two methods, traditional and modern methods. Crop protection must be done from the weeds and from pests and diseases. After that, the crop is matured and harvested and we have to store the crop in a proper way. Fine. So I think you all have understood the chapter and now you are able to perform the question answers. Fine. So try to do these question answers. The question answers are very simple based on all the topics that we have discussed. So regarding the question answers, if you have any doubt, write me in the comment section so that I can provide you the solution. Fine. So enough for today. Have a nice day and start question answers for your chapter. Fine? Have a good day and bye.